Hello everybody and welcome back to the AskR channel. Today's episode is on r/TalesFromTechSupport, the only subreddit where you can be accused of doing drugs by the contents of your bin. The next post is by user/deleted. I need you to fix Google Bing immediately. Another tale from the out of hours of IT desk. Me, service desk, caller. Google Bing isn't working. Is the system down? It's very important I use the Bing. Note, yes, the caller is actually saying the Bing. Me. I'm sorry, can you confirm which system you're referring to, as I'm unfamiliar with that? Google Bing? Really? How can you not know this? Google Bing is not a system we support out of hours, nor in hours. This sounds like a mashup between two different search engines. What exactly is happening? I need Google Bing to do my job. This is unacceptable. I can't find Google Bing anywhere on my PC. How dare you remove this? I need you to fix Google Bing immediately. May I remote in to take a look? I spend 5 minutes setting up the remote connection. Turns out that the caller had a shortcut on her desktop called Google Bing. This opened the Bing search homepage in Google Chrome. She had accidentally changed the name of the shortcut from Google Bing to something else, and hence could not find it. Okay, that has been renamed now, so you're good to go. Next time, don't mess around with my computer. I know you guys changed this. I'm not stupid. I have a certificate of proficiency in computering. Okay, thanks for calling. Click. Yes, the caller really said computering. Ah yes, my favorite, Google Bing. We all love a little Google Bing search when we can't find the answers we're looking for. Ah yes. Anyway, the next story is by another user/deleted. Titled, The Hug Heard Around the Company. I was thrust a laptop by an angry executive early this morning, with him complaining that his laptop had locked up again. Normally we have a ticketing system in place for any and all tech issues. However, when an executive wants something, he bypasses the system because rank do hath its privileges. So I go through the normal routine of diagnosing, and through my efforts I see that the issue is simply bad RAM. I replace the RAM and take the unit back to the executive. He tells me he refuses to take back the unit unless I am 100% certain that everything that was wrong with it is fixed. Internally, I wanted to punch this man, but I held it in and simply asked him what the other issues he was having were. He pulled out a notepad, ran through a load of issues that all screamed, just run frickin' cleaner. But I took his unit back and started working on his computer. After going through and cleaning out the useless installed programs, which were obviously used once and then never again, and cleaning out junk data, I found a folder in his roaming. It was reading 12 gigabytes but was hidden. I log in with my credentials and enable viewing for hidden or protected files. I see that the hidden folder was from 2014. Basically, it was just a bunch of pictures, and looked to be a temporary folder created by one of the old programs I'd removed earlier. Just a picture manager or something. Normally when we see personal pictures on the machine, we're supposed to delete them immediately. Now, no one ever does this because we're not a big bunch of bad guys in the IT department. Plus, the guy was an executive, so I decided to just move the pictures to his desktop under a folder I created called Old Pictures. I took the laptop to him and informed him of the pics, telling him I left it up to him if he wanted them deleted or not. He thanked me for my time, and I went back to work. About an hour later, him and his wife, who had come up to join him for lunch, came over to my desk. He seemed very happy, and she was crying. Now, normally when I have nothing to do and a boss comes over, I stand up to greet them, just the way I was raised, I guess. I was not prepared for what followed and was totally shocked by the outcome. The lady wanted to thank me for finding the pictures, and the executive reached out to shake my hand, thanking me profusely before pulling me into a hug in front of the entire IT department. I awkwardly hugged him back, and he let me go embarrassed. My eyes were wide, flabbergasted, and totally unprepared for this. Extremely out of character in the moment for this guy. Barely able to hold back tears, his wife tells me that the pictures I recovered were thought to be lost in 2012. Their 4-year-old son had passed away from leukemia, and the pictures I recovered were taken right before his diagnosis at 3 years of age. Because of a house fire a few years ago, they thought they'd lost every last photo of their son. Apparently, those were the photos I had recovered. His wife reached out to give me a hug, and everyone in the IT department stared at their screens hard with puffy eyes, as we were not expecting this kind of emotion today. My boss came out of his office to personally thank me and forwarded an email chain to me ahead of a company-wide email that the CEO sent out, basically retelling the tale while naming me personally. He threw in words about strive for excellence and the unexpected results of everyday excellence. I had to turn off my Skype for business as the attaboys kept coming in, one after the other. My boss told me to take my lunch early since the flood of messages was making it really hard to do my job. Well, how's this for a story of unintentional compassion? OP did a great job here, and he just did his job. He didn't mean to do anything special. And we've also got to be nice to the executive here, as he could just be very stonewalled and icy due to the fact that he lost his son, and it's just not very apparent in the office. Well, anyway, OP, I hope that this got you a lot of recognition and you eventually got a pay rise for doing excellent work in your job. The next story is posted by user/gigabyte898. No, sir, I can't show you how to commit a federal crime. The repair company I work at is a small business and has 2 locations, one of which is in an interesting area. As such, we get a lot of interesting people. This guy came in yesterday. Hi, can you show me how to access someone's text messages? I found some tutorials on YouTube, but they don't work. I assume he wants to back up the messages, so I start walking him through how to sync his phone. No, I want to view someone else's messages. Wait, this isn't a device you own? No. Do you have any consent from the owner to read these messages? No, that's why I need you to show me how to see them. Sir, if you don't have permission from the person to read their messages, it's illegal to access them. I can't show you how to do that here. Well, do you know anywhere else that can? No, sir, I'm not aware of any repair shops that can help you do that. It's a federal crime. I can pull up the relevant laws regarding authorized access to someone's personal devices if you'd like. Cue the rant of, "You guys are supposed to be the experts," as I stare blankly into the distance, losing more and more faith in humanity. Some people do tend to be a bit odd like that. They don't seem to understand that when something's federally illegal, you're not allowed to do it. In the comments, Wayward Gad Gita has this story here. I had someone ask me not too long ago if I could remove some text from images because I'm a photographer and a photo editor by trade. I don't know why, but I immediately got suspicious and asked for details. Turns out they had hired another photographer to take pictures and had gotten a link with watermarked images to choose from. They picked their favorites, got those retouched and full size on a DVD, and now the photographer doesn't want to give them all the other pictures. The photographer wanted to get paid for them as well. So that person wanted me to remove the watermarks from all the preview pictures so they could have all of them without paying the rightful copyright owner. When I told that person that no, I wouldn't be doing it because that's actually illegal and pretty scummy thing to do, they rolled their eyes, scoffed, and asked if I could at least tell them how to do it. Nope. Thanks. So yes, people are asking for help with illegal stuff all the time from professionals. Really seems to be a thing in multiple genres. The next story is by user/guitars don't dance. Don't bother sending a tech. I'll be dead by then. So my story starts on what was a normal day taking calls on the front line for a large cable company. The job pays well, and for the most part, the people I deal with are fairly nice to talk to. Quite often, we'll get calls from seniors, especially in the morning, who have equipment issues such as no on screen or no signal on their TV sets connected to our digital equipment. Now, my heart does go out to some of these folk because up until recently, past few years, we would supply straight analog cable to many homes, direct from the wall to TV, with scrolling guides and everything. However, most cities we service nowadays require our digital equipment to receive channels, and this has caused a lot of frustration with older people who don't know how to operate the new set equipment. For example, always having your TV set on video or HDMI to get picture. So oftentimes we get customers who are repeat offenders with long ticket histories of these types of issues. Anyway, I get a call from an older gentleman who's quite bitter and mean right off the bat, doesn't like that I asked for his address, telephone number to verify the account, hates that he has to speak with a machine before reaching an agent, etc. I have some experience handling these types of customers, however this call was going to be a little different. I spent over 45 minutes with this guy, we'll call him Mr. Smith, trying to get his TV set connected to the digital box properly, so he could receive a picture. No luck. He was getting clearly frustrated by the whole ordeal and started blaming me for not being able to do my job properly, how I was useless, etc. Whatever. Like I've said, I've dealt with this before, so I tried my best not to take it personally, but eventually I had to ask him if we could book a service tech to the home, a courtesy call, to get his TV working correctly. Unfortunately, our booking calendar was showing an approximate 3 days out. That's when he dropped this on me. Don't bother sending a goddamn technician because I'll be dead by then. I'm 94 and the TV is the only thing I have left. Are you really going to make me wait for a tech? Instantly, I felt bad. I mean, I've heard every complaint in the book as to why people don't want to wait for a tech, but this one kind of got to me. I'm in my mid-20s, so honestly, I can't even imagine how it must feel to utter those words. So I spoke with my supervisor, who said they'd see if we could get someone out earlier, but we couldn't promise anything, so I let Mr. Smith know, and he was predictably not very happy with my answer. At that point, it almost sounded like he started to cry, and went into how he has no family left, and no friends that come visit. This was after I asked if there was anyone in his building that might be able to help. Man, I felt terrible. So I took it upon myself to ask Mr. Smith if I could pay a visit. He lived in a small city over from where I was, not very far to drive. He was a little shocked. I was willing to do this, but sounded thankful. I was willing to come out and help him personally. So I head over, get to the residence, and meet him. Within 30 seconds I had the cable running again, simple input change, and I even brought him a simplified remote for his set-top box to avoid this problem in the future. That's when he started crying. He goes into how he hasn't actually spoken or really interacted with anyone for years. He gave me a hug and told me how thankful he was that I came out and helped him, and told me how sorry he was for being mean earlier on. I said it was no problem and I was happy to help, and that was it. I left. 3 weeks later, my supervisor comes to my desk and asks me if I could come speak with her for a bit about an account for Mr. Smith. Turns out he sent a letter to the cable company outlining how thankful he was for helping him with his issue, and how it really made an old man happy again for the first time in a very long time. The letter was framed and put up in our front entrance. I guess the moral of this story is no matter how nasty someone is to you over the phone, sometimes they're not always a terrible person, and just going through a lot. I still think about Mr. Smith occasionally when I get those nasty customers. It makes me feel a little better. Well, isn't this a nice little heartwarming story? It ties into the earlier one with the aggressive manager, where someone might be grieving or just be having a bad day and they come off a lot ruder than they actually mean to be. They can still be a great person, just that they're grieving or they're going through something so it doesn't work out. The next story is posted by user/bombaddles. Okay, now the password is D35P41R. Okay, I work at a local authority on the help desk. Social workers are the bane of my existence, but you learn to cope with their general incompetence as part of the job. But sometimes they can still surprise you. This is what happened today. So we use a generic username for most of our computers so that people can log into the machine. Then from there, they can log into the app they use to work. Everyone knows the username and password for this. It's quite literally written on the walls in most areas, because the only thing it can access is another logon page, so it isn't a security issue. Most of the accounts stay logged on at all times to save confusing the geniuses that work here. A guy rang up today, said hello, and asked for the generic logon details. I've changed the exact username and password, but other than that, this is more or less word for word. Genius. So, what's the username? Me. It's computer. So, is that an asset number of the PC? No. It's just the word computer. And then / my name? No, it's the word computer. COMPUTER. Computer, nothing else. And what's the password? It's password, as in the word password, with a capital P, but you replace the A with a 4. So, it's password? No, it's not. It's capital P 4SSWORD, with a capital P at the beginning, everything else is lowercase. Okay, so the username is computer password. What's the password? No, the username is computer, the password is password. That's everything. Just 2 words, 2 boxes, 2 words. Clickety-clackety of keyboard in shoes. It didn't work. I typed in password, and it says it's incorrect. Spell out what you typed for me, please. PASSWORD. Me, very slowly and clearly, in case it was my accent or something. Like I said, capital P, number 4, lowercase s, lowercase s, lowercase w, lowercase o, lowercase r, lowercase d. Password. Clickety-clack continues. Nope, it says the account is locked. I used a capital P this time, definitely. Did you use the 4 instead of the A? Use 4 watts. I ended up having to remotely connect to the computer and do it for him. The whole time he complained that the system was needlessly complicated. Wow, OP. Some people in this world are just so computer illiterate they don't understand how anything works. At least you were able to help them and sort out the problem, but this person can't even listen to you spell out a password. I'm not sure it's just their computer skills that are the problem here. The next story is by user/GoldieGold. Engineer is doing drugs? No. No, they aren't. This just happened. So, I had a laptop system board fail. Under warranty, no problem. Engineer comes on site, does the job, all good. 10 minutes later, I'm called down to where he was working by a member of management saying that he must have been doing drugs in there because there's a syringe in the bin. There's about 10 members of staff all freaking out. I recognize the syringe almost immediately. I pick it up, turn it around, and show them the label that states thermal compound. It's thermal paste for the CPU in the cooler. Anyway guys, thank you for listening today. If you like this content, please consider liking and subscribing. It would really help me out a lot. At 1,000 subs, I'm going to be daily uploading. Up until then, I'm going to slowly increase at subscriber goals. Thank you for watching once again, and I'll catch you on the other side. See ya.